Right guys, what is up and welcome back to another video where today we are going to be doing a fairly boring topic, but don't click off yet. We're going to be sorting out the fuel issues. If you've seen the fuel pressure regulator video, we're going to be continuing on from that video and trying to further diagnose the problem that is causing the car to run at such a high fuel pressure, 6 bar, which is way too high. That should be running about 3.5 bar. If you're wondering if I'm speaking a little bit weird, a little bit all over the place, I'm quite tired. Only got 4 hours of sleep last night, but regardless, before consulting the internet, my genius mind has thought of 2 things I can try. Firstly, I am going to disconnect the return line to the tank, just in case there's any blockages in there, and run the car and run right up the bottom of the pressure regulator into like a bucket or something, so there's no resistance in the lines. See if the car's still running high pressure. Second thing I'm going to try is removing the fuel pump at the front. There's 2 fuel pumps on the car. We're going to try removing the front pump and just running the one at the rear by the tank, see if that affects the pressure as well. If either of those don't work, then I guess the internet and maybe potentially the comment section is my best friend. But let's start with the easiest thing, which is just going to be running the return line into a bucket so there's no resistance and taking a look at the pressure. I'm going to try my best not to get fuel all over the exhaust manifold, because that's never really a great idea with cars. Top tip for you guys there. Focus, please. Right, that's our regulator, and the return line is now on a new piece of pipe that is just feeding into this bottle right here. So there's our bottle. Just going to fill that with a bit of petrol and see if this makes any difference to our pressure, and if it does, we know it's something to do with the return line. Keys, fuel pump, start. Right, so as you've seen from that, the car was not starting at all, which is actually a good thing, I want to say. Just in that tiny bit of turning over, we've already filled up that much petrol in the bottle, and I'm hoping that the reason it didn't start is because the fuel pressure was too low, which is a good thing for us. That means it is to do with the return line, and maybe we can just fix that by putting a larger one on, or maybe it's something to do with the return into the tank at the back of the car. I'm going to just flick the first fuel pump on that one, and then we can actually have a look what this gauge is displaying about having to hold the key in, because clearly the car doesn't want to start. That's going to turn on as soon as I turn the ignition on. Okay, that's filling up very quickly, and we're getting next to no reading on that. Right, so I don't know if that focused. I had to be quick because literally I'm about to drain the entire fuel tank, but that went to about 5 psi of pressure, if that. So this is good. This is a good sign. This means it's somewhere in our return line is what's causing the such high pressure. Right, I'm gonna go tip this back into the tank. And should petrol look that colour? I thought it was a bit lighter than that. Looks like someone hasn't drunk enough water. Right, this time we're going to do the exact same thing, but I'm going to check the secondary gauge over here to see if that's reading correct pressure, just in case this one is broken. I'm also going to leave the fuel cap undone, just in case there's any airlocks in the fuel tank and the breather hose isn't working for whatever reason. That will also rule out that issue. Bottle's ready to be filled again. First fuel pump on. And we are getting a reading of about 0.5 bar. Right, so what I'm going to do now is just connect the standard return line back up, just see if pressure increases once again. to like 6 bar, because who knows, maybe there was just a magical airlock in the return line that has suddenly freed itself. Also, put a hat on because it is freezing today. The weather's actually quite grim, it's like 6 degrees. But yeah, let's see if the pressure returns back to 6 bar. Pump on. We have gone straight up, way too high, about 5 bar again. Right, that's too high. Right, so what we have discovered there is that the fuel line on the return does seem to be the issue. Obviously, it's a little bit confusing because it is literally just a straight line that goes to the tank. The only thing I can think of, there's 2 possible things I can think of that could be restricting flow. Number 1, there could be a kink anywhere in line. It could be tangled, it could be kinked. I'm gonna have to check the whole line, see if I can find anything. The only other thing it could be is the actual port that it plumbs into on the return in the tank. However, when we were doing the engine swap, I did drop the tank out of this, I cleaned all of them, and they were all absolutely a-okay. So I'm really surprised if there's a blockage in there. Let's do some investigating. Right, so I might have found our problem. This is where the fuel lines enter on the top of the tank. This is a little hole I cut out for the lines to feed through. And this is where the lines have ended up, properly wedged between the tank and the bottom of the car, which is probably going to be putting considerable pressure on both lines, which will be causing an increase in fuel pressure. So let's try and free these, feed them through, secure them better, and have a look at the pressure again. I think I'm going to have to drop the tank a bit. Okay, so we have fixed the issue. Alex has actually turned up briefly to give me a little hand. I don't think the lines are trapped now, so if that was the issue, it should be resolved now. So we're going to turn the car on, turn the pump on. Hopefully, fingers crossed, pressure is a little bit lower. Otherwise there's something else that is the issue. But we'll think about that when we actually know if this worked or not. You know the drill. Ignition on. First fuel pump on. Any leaks? What?
No, it's missing out the fuel line.
Should I get flathead?
Oh no, that's tight. That's as tight as they're gonna get. I think it's just because the lines are so big. I think
they didn't leak before.
I think they did.
No.
Yeah, because that was damp in the top. It doesn't just get damp on a dry day for no reason.
We're gonna pretend you didn't say that, and they're working. When it was running right then, it was only running at like half a bar of fuel pressure, which is good news. That shows improvement. So I'm now going to adjust the fuel pressure regulator, and we're going to see if we can get it sitting right and around 3.5 bar, which is what it should have been in the first place, and then hopefully we can finally solve that misfire issue. I know where the alley. Someone's got eBay stuff. Is that me?
No, that's me.
He's turboing his MX-5.
Let's have a look. Your item has been delivered. Item delivered. That's always a bonus. Let's fuck with Harry. I'll tell him he took his keys in with him. He'll never know.
Okay. All the goods. Put this to waste. Put the piss bottle back in.
I was really expecting that to go everywhere. Are you done?
What?
What have you done?
I'm looking for the keys.
I thought you left them in there.
No. Turn the second pump on now with the ignition.
We have 3 bar. Focus. There we go.
That's about optimum.
That's a bit too much. 4. There you go. 3.5. Just there. Doesn't sound like it's misfiring.
No, it's running better.
4 bar.
It probably feels a bit more.
What was it?
Punchier now, like 6 bar. To be honest, it can do it coming down again a bit now. But I might just bang the stock back on. The main thing is that we have sorted the high pressure, and it was literally as simple as a fucking cramped line underneath the fuel tank. So easy fix, and video done. Hopefully it doesn't get stuck again, but I guess time will tell after driving. I'm going to end it there. That was a success. That was actually very easy.
Makes a change.
By the time you see this, Alex, who's behind the camera, his Turbo MX-5 build video will be just starting. You may have seen the first one. We didn't do fuck all in it really, but we're going to film some more stuff when we actually do.
The video consists of me
Turbo.
vaping, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So don't be put off by that first one. That's just an introduction, we'll say. So part 2, part 3, part 4, whatever, it's going to be a lot more interesting. But yeah, stay tuned for that.
When the manifold finally arrives, it'll actually get interesting.
Yeah, that'll be a big thing. Also going to chuck a exhaust on the back of this, so it's not dumping out in the centre of the car. So that'll be another video to look out for. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stupid look there. Alex, you can have this as a present for
thank you.
your work. See, I treat,
tiny can of spray.
I
love
treat
it.
my friends well. Right, I'll see you in the next video.